All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever felt totally overwhelmed, maybe a little distracted, or, let's be honest, just way too attached to your phone? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. We're going to break down a really simple, science-backed way to get your focus back and, reset your brain.
So, does this sound familiar? You feel that little buzz in your pocket, and it just takes over your attention. You grab your phone to check just one little thing, and poof, 20 minutes are just gone. The thing is, you're definitely not alone in this, and it's so important to know this isn't some personal failing.
That's right. That feeling, that constant pull back to your screen, it's not an accident. It's actually the result of a really powerful psychological loop that, frankly, a lot of apps and platforms are designed to take advantage of. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
Okay, first up, we need to talk about what I call the cheap dopamine trap. This is this cycle our brains get stuck in, where we get hooked on these super easy, low-effort rewards that keep us scrolling and scrolling instead of, actually engaging with the real world.
So how does this trap actually work? Well, it's all powered by something called the habit loop. And once you see this simple 4-step pattern, I'm telling you, you are going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere in your life. So here it is. Every single habit, good or bad, follows this exact structure. First, you've got a cue, which is just a trigger, right? Like feeling bored or maybe a little stressed. That cue then kicks off a craving, and what you're really craving is that little dopamine hit you know is coming. That leads you to the routine, which is the action itself, like opening up social media. And finally, you get the reward, that little flooded dopamine that basically tells your brain, hey, that felt good, let's remember to do that again.
Now, here's what's so fascinating about this, and this is the key to everything. You can't just use willpower to delete a bad habit. It doesn't work. Why? Because your brain wants to complete the loop. It leaves a vacuum. So the real trick isn't to just stop the habit, it's to swap out the routine.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get super practical. We're going to walk through a 7-day challenge that's designed to reset your brain's entire reward system and help you finally take back control.
And the best part? We're not talking about some massive months-long commitment here. It's just 7 days. That's it. A single week is seriously all it takes to interrupt those old patterns and start building new, much healthier ones. It's completely doable.
So the number one practice for this whole reset is something called the digital sunset. It is so simple. You just pick a time every single night, let's say 9:30 p.m., and after that, all screens go off. Phones, tablets, laptops, the TV, everything. The whole point is to give your brain a break from all that constant stimulation, which, it turns out, has a huge positive effect on your sleep quality and can seriously lower your anxiety.
But hang on, remember what we said? You can't just delete a habit. When that 9:30 p.m. cue hits and you put your phone down, you're going to need a plan for what to do instead. And this brings us to the most powerful part of this whole thing, the replacement strategy. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So let's say your cue is feeling bored. Your old routine was just mindless scrolling, right? Well, your new, pre-planned routine is to pick up a high-value book that you're actually excited to read. See? You're still solving for the cue of boredom, but you're swapping a really low-value routine for a high-value one. And the beautiful thing is, this works for basically any habit. Here's another classic example. Your cue is feeling stressed. The old routine might have been to reach for a cigarette. The new, replacement routine could be doing 5 deep breathing exercises, or just taking a quick walk around the block. You're still getting a reward, a feeling of calm, but you're getting it through a much, much healthier action. So, if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. It is all about planning ahead. You have to identify the cues that trigger your bad habits, boredom, stress, loneliness, whatever they are, and decide in advance what your new, better routine is going to be. Success isn't about having incredible willpower in the moment. It's about having a better plan from the start.
And that's really the whole shebang. Now that you understand the loop, the power to change these patterns is completely in your hands. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When you look at your own day, at your own cues, what's the very first habit you're going to replace?